Guys, Cindy over paper.old.new. How's everybody doing? For those of you who are in the snow over here in States, are you keeping warm, staying in, doing all the things? I'm snowed in and I'm recording videos. I haven't started editing videos yet, but hopefully I'll have a few to edit and put out in a relatively decent amount of time. But they're all being recorded on Blizzard weekend. In the spirit of getting back into trying to finish projects, I know that you guys have watched me, especially the file folder. Although the file folder folios, the intent was to show you how to construct it. I wasn't really, the intent there wasn't for me to finish those on camera. I just wanted to show you how to construct the base and then let you run with it. The little kitten journals, I have finally gotten them all sewn together, so we have to put covers on them and then work on using all of our scraps to fill the pockets. So I do still want to get back to those. In the interest of getting projects finished, I am hoping that this year I can go back and finish projects that I abandoned, even ones I was doing with you that we never finished. And also projects that I was doing off camera that I just created and I wanted to do and get done. And then for the rest of the year, when I start projects, I'm hoping to finish them. I just get sidetracked. I get so far into a project and then I have all these other ideas in my head and I say, you know what? I want to work on this. And I abandon whatever it is when it's almost done. Probably the most common place that I abandon would be when I have to sew in pages, because that's probably the hardest part for me, is sewing the signatures together, especially on a single spine. Anyway, a while back, I did some accordion journals. And I did two different kinds. So I did the kind that you just fold, an accordion journal that you just fold and glue together. And then I did this kind that I saw, it was actually Tina at Shabby Dabby Doo Dah. I'll have to, maybe I can link the original time that I did this. And I wanted to go back and complete these. I have a whole stack of them. See, I have this stack of these accordion projects, and I want to go back and complete these. So I'm looking at what needs to be done to them to get them completed. Now, for this one, what you did was you took squares of paper, turned them on the diagonal, and folded them into each other, and they made these really cool. So you could either put it on there so that you had a belly band, right? Like this. Or you could do a double pocket. So you have an up and a down. All right. And then a triangle in the middle folds flat. On this one, these triangles fold flat. Okay. Like I said, I'll try and link the video where I actually made these, and that way you can see how the construction goes. The one thing that I did not do, that I was not careful about, is as you're putting this together, I don't know if you can see that, but see where this triangle that's folded flat, where it meets these two pockets, there's a white seam there. Can you see that, where the paper doesn't exactly come together and it's white right there? So what I've been doing is, in some cases, for the belly bands, I started popping the belly band free. Let's see if we can find one that I can. I think that was the last one I did. So here's a belly band. So what I've been doing is I've been taking my little bone folder and I've been going in here. See that white? You can probably really see it on that one. Yeah. So I've been going in here and I've been trying to get the glue free and popping that off. And then I put a line of glue down the back, and I've been kind of wiggling that loose. Like this. And I just want to show you the idea that I'm having right now. At this point, what my thought is to go through and find ways to decorate up these spots where there's the white is showing, where the pocket didn't come together. The folds weren't exactly perfect. And I ended up with those gaps. This is going to take some practice for me so that I don't get these gaps. I'm hoping to figure out how to do that in future so that if I decide to make these, I don't get those gaps, which would be really nice. And then what I did was I took a piece of tissue paper like this. I'm actually going to cut. I want some flat. I want one flat edge. So I'm wondering if I can tear along the seam. If it'll, probably not. Well, there it was. All right, so much for my flat edge. Okay, and then I go like this, and I put this on here so that it sticks out over the edges. All right, so we're going to take the glue stick. And if you haven't made one of these, this really isn't like something that you would do, but this is just my idea for getting this one fixed so that I can move on to hopefully getting stuff in these and getting them decorated. Now I put a little bit out on the outside, out here on these edges. And then when we stick this down like that, I want to come all the way up to where the point is. Might have to caddy so that it sits in all the spots I need it to. Okay. So just like that, and I'm going to put it on these edges like this. Oh, I missed right there. Okay, now I will say this. When I fold this down, if I miss and I look at that and I say that's too white, I'll just tear a piece of this off and stick it in that corner. Just like that. And I glue it down. And then what I do is, well, we're going to have to take care of this because I don't want it sticking up and interfering with the belly band. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the belly band back together. So we're going to put a little bit of glue back up here at the tip. Oh, no, you know what I learned from the last time? I need to look and see if there's any tissue paper on the edge here. Let's take this off. Okay. And I want to make sure this is glued just because I don't want it to interfere. I don't want it to interfere with anything going into the belly band. Okay. All right. Now let's put the belly band back together. So are any of you over in the States, in the blizzard zone? I call it a blizzard. I don't know that it would actually technically be a blizzard. It's just like, you know how when you get rain all day, except it's like 10 degrees outside, so it's snow. That's basically what we're having here. Is all day snowstorm, so we're getting a decent accumulation. And now I know some places got ice and stuff like that, so I know some places are worse off than we are. But so far, knock on wood, as you can tell, since I'm recording videos and everything, I have not lost power. We are getting snow, not really a lot of ice, so counting my blessings on that one. Because I know the ice is the bear to work to deal with. Just the fact that the weight on power lines and stuff, it causes all kinds of problems. So I hope for any of you that are getting the ice, I hope you're not losing power. But because I know too that can take a while to get it back. That's the biggest. It's not so much that you lost it, it's that you might be without it for a day or two. All right. So that's how I'm kind of going through this one and taking care of some of this. And I'm using the same color all the way through because this color happens to go really well with the paper that I used in here. Now see, you have these ones. I can't really pick these pockets up. So I have to figure out a way. And I did do some tucking. So like in the very front up here, when I first started this, I tucked into this pocket. I tucked some paper into this and kind of glued it down on the outside. And I suppose I could give that a shot over here. The problem is getting the glue on there. Once it's sticky, tissue paper, once it's sticky, it's really hard to maneuver it. So trying to get it in this pocket when it's got glue on the back of it is crazy hard. So that's what I want to do with this one. I took these projects out, and now that I've gotten started, I want to try and work on them. So I have that one, and I'm going to tuck this in here with this because I'll probably use it throughout the book. And it kind of also adds, using it over and over again on those pages kind of also adds the cohesiveness of it being used throughout the book. Okay, the next one I have is this one. This one is butterflies and wallpaper. Okay, so I'm sure lots of you have seen that Mariposa butterfly pad, scrapbook pad. That's what all of this paper is from. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is going through here and marking. Let's see where that's going to cut off. I'm kind of trying to mark. I kind of wanted the words. I don't know. Or I could not have the words and just have the plants and cut the words off and use them as a card or something, or a belly band. Maybe we'll do it that way. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll line this up here. And basically what I've been doing with these were going to be inside pieces, and I have to decide whether or not I'm going to sew them in. One of the problems I have with accordions, and I don't know if this is just me or if other people do this, I've never completed, I made one attempted accordion journal. It's in my Pick a Projects. You can go back and look at it. It's one of those projects that I abandoned unfinished because I started having trouble with the bulkiness of it. It was just, it wasn't working the way I wanted it. Did I lose my, guys? It wasn't working. One of these days I'm going to pull it out and try and figure out what I can do with it, because I would like to do something with it, and it might end up coming apart and being, something else. But in the meantime, this is an accordion book where I've gotten some of the butterfly paper. I have wallpaper in here, and I tried to match it with stuff that I liked it with. And then I went back, and for some of them, I didn't really, I settled, I guess you could say. So like that, I kind of settled on that one. So I found something that I liked in the middle here, and I put it in here. For this one, I like this in here. So I'm sticking this in. I don't know if there'll be a lot more pages. What this might end up being is that I put this one piece and maybe one piece of like coffee dyed paper or something in here. And then the rest of it will just be pockets and journaling cards. I do not want to put too much bulk in here because I feel like that was the mistake I made last time. And with most accordion journals, I feel like you don't have to sew something in everywhere. But again, I had gaps because of the way I put this one together. I went and put this accordion journal together, and I had forgotten how to do it. So I made a faux pas and cut all my pages apart and then reassembled them. And I ended up with these spaces. So these spaces are what I'm kind of trying to fill in. And you'll see there's a space here where I had two pieces of wallpaper that went around a fold. All right, so this is this one, and I'm going to get the bird cage. I like cage. So we're going to go from the bottom. We're going to cut this off. Okay, and I'm just going through and I'm evening these up. This is my next step on this one. The other thing I'm going to have to do is figure out what I'm going to do about a cover. Because when you make these accordion journals, you end up with a front and a back that aren't covered because of the way you tuck the pieces together. So I have no cover here. So this is waiting for, and I was thinking maybe, something a little firmer or harder, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And then of course I have a back cover that needs covering. Okay. So those are things that I have to think about. But right now I just wanted to work on getting this stuff taken care of. Now for this one, I'm going to put this in here. Because if I try to put it not, it'll cut it in half. So rather than cutting it in half, I'm just going to keep the whole thing. And the whole thing is in the book again somewhere else, but first things first, this isn't totally straight. So we are going to try and get some projects completed. And hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read. I don't think I'm going to be able to get, this isn't enough. Yeah, that's not enough that it's going to, I'll just have to trim it. Okay, so we're going to even these up. Make sure I have that in there right. And we'll mark this one. I'm going to get all of these cut, and then I'll show you the other accordion books that I have to work on. This is going to be kind of like the kitten projects in the respect that I'm probably going to work on all of them at once so that I can get them done. And I still am wanting to go through all my little golden book journals and, all that. I still have my big pile of file folders. So I'm still going to be doing file folder folios, which I will share. So yeah, lots of projects still ongoing, and still, I want to do a lot of the things that I had set out to do before. I want to see how much of this, I might just cut that off. Yeah, I think I will. This is the last one, and then we'll go on, look at some of the others, but. Oh yeah, I have lots of grandiose plans. I just seem to have very little time to do them. Okay, so these are, I think most of the ones I chose are coffee dyed. So you've got that. That one's coffee dyed. That one's coffee dyed. Let's flip over and see the other side. Oh, there's one that's not. This one is. This one is. And this one is not. So one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to dye those ones that aren't, or I'm going to cover them with something. I don't know what yet, but that's where this one sits for now. I had a, this doesn't work. All right, so we've got those two. We're going to sit those up there like that. And now this one is similar to this one, but it's paper. Okay. And as you can see, I still have the same problem with the white. I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. Can't decide. I haven't decided. And I don't know why I did that thing with the glue. I have no idea why I put glue here, but I did. So this will have to have the same thing though. If I decide to continue with this, I'm going to have to do something about the fact that the seams don't meet. So we already went through one of those, so we're not going to go through that. I'll just put that back up here. For this one, what do we got? This is just a regular, what do you call it? This is just a regular accordion journal. So you have the scrapbook paper, and basically what I did with this one was I folded a piece and then you fold another piece opposite and you tuck 2 pieces on either side like that. You know how to make one of these, right? And then I glued them together as pockets. So I have a lot of top loading pockets. This whole thing is a book of top loading pockets. So there's that. For some reason, this one's short. I don't know why that is, but must have cut it wrong. But anyway, so this one I will have to decide how I'm going to do this. I don't know if I want to sew stuff in here or how I want to handle it. The other thing is sometimes I always think about, like, on this one, all my folds are the paper. What would be really nice is if I could reverse it, but I don't know. I think we're going to reverse this one. And basically my idea for reversing this one is this. I don't have to, when I reverse it, because of the way I constructed this one, instead of a piece of paper folding over in here, and then in my creases having the gap, this separation of the 2 different scrapbook papers with this seam will be on an outside like that. And then what my thought is, instead of feeling like I need to sew a signature in there to cover it up, I can put something on here as a spine cover. That makes sense? So like a little piece of fabric or, something like that, that will cover that gap for me. My pockets are not wanting to cooperate, so I'll hit that like that. So for this one, my first order of prep is to reverse my accordion. So I'm reversing this so that I do not feel like I have to, because that's the biggest reason why I do the sewing. Trying to sew the signatures into every spot is because I have the gaps. And this is just unevenly folded. Can't do anything about it now, but so now the same thing will apply. We'll have to find covers because oh shoot, reversing the fold makes it open backwards. So there's that. So unless I find another piece of paper, it's going to open backwards. I don't know. That'll be something else I have to figure out. I love it when I do stuff and then, But anyway, so as you can see, now on this one, like I was saying, it's because of the way I put it together that I have those gaps in every signature. I mean, every spot. I don't think I can reverse the fold on this one and get the... I don't think I can. Maybe I can. I'm afraid to do it because I don't want to mess it up. All right, we reverse the folds on that one. So reversing the fold would mean going this way with it. It won't, I can't, oh, there it goes. And then that being an inside. This being an outside, and that being an inside. Oh, I think the reason I didn't do it this way is because I was trying to get the pages so that you saw, when you looked at the pages, you saw This one's all messed up. I can't do it with this one. I was trying to alternate between, I don't know, wallpaper and butterfly paper, sort of. All right, now I'll show you one where, okay, so we reversed the folds on this one. So I'm not going to put as many signatures in this one is basically the reason I did that. Or I'm not going to sew as many things into that one. Okay, now these ones that I did with wallpaper. So basically what I did with these was I glued wallpaper to copy paper, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, see? Because first of all, the wallpaper is kind of flimsy. So I glued wallpaper to copy paper, and then I did the same thing where I took a piece, and I think these are pockets. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I didn't make pockets out of these. Oh, yes, I did. I have it upside down. Okay, so these are pockets. This is more of a tall, narrow. And basically what you've got is the paper, same idea. The paper is folded out this way, and then you've got a seam in here. So I would sew where the seams are. The reason I'm not going to reverse this one is because you can see where I folded. Do you see how the wallpaper has peeled away from its backing? I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it? I've gone through and I've trimmed off all the pieces that were sticking out. And this is definitely one where I want to put like some fabric trim or something along these folds. And then along these folds as well. And then sew signatures into the spots where the things come together. Now, that's going to put a signature here and here. So I'll have 1, 2, definitely. And then when I flip it over, I will also have 1, 2 there. And then I have to decide whether or not what I'm going to do with this space. Because it goes from this to this might end up being like, I don't know, a pocket, a flip out, something. Who knows? But I might not put signatures there. So there will be 4 signatures in this. I just will make them small. You can see right here. Here's one where the wallpaper, see how it's like coming off of there? That's what it did where it folded. This wallpaper is from the 70s, I think. So it's old. Okay, and then I have some more of those, but these ones aren't put together yet, I don't think. Yeah, see, these are still separate. I think I have 2 of them, which might end up getting combined because I feel like I have paper in here that I don't necessarily want together. I don't know if I'm going to combine these, but I might. And this has the same problem. So the reason I didn't have them combined is because they're so big. Okay, so I don't want them to get too big. My problem is pairing the papers together. Like those go together, they come from the same, it's the same pattern, 2 different styles of the same pattern. So they go together. And then I pair them with like this. Now, that might be a place where a signature goes because I don't necessarily like those 2 together, and it would be helpful to put a signature in there to cover up what I don't like. Okay, so these all have to be glued together. And what I was thinking with these is, first of all, the tops of these are going to get trimmed. I don't know how tall these are going to end up being. I want to say the paper, yeah, these are 10 inches tall. So I'm probably going to cut off all the places where the holes were. So that'll all probably get trimmed off of there. And then this will get put on here like this. And it'll get glued around, and then it'll have a top loading pocket. And I can do as many or as few of those as I want. Right? And then your top loading pockets don't all have to be used as pockets. You could tuck a little piece down in there and have a flippy pad sticking out or a flip up, or, they don't have to be used as pockets. They could be used as places for you to stick stuff. The other thing I would like to think about before I put this one together is whether or not I want any little flippy things. So say I wanted to have, I know, I feel like I'm doing a lot of nothing, but kind of where my brain is right now. I keep getting lost in wanting to do things, but not really knowing what to do. So it makes it difficult. Okay, so if I stuck this in like this, and then I could fold it as a like a flippy piece that gets glued in. I don't like that idea, actually. All right, let's fold. So basically, the way this would go, this, we're going to, or I suppose it doesn't really matter. I want to get some washi tape. Tray. The other one is the same as this one, so you'll get the idea for what I want to do from this one, and then I'll probably let you go. I hope that you're like gonna stick with me while I wander through, and hopefully it'll give you an idea or a thought or a, oh, you know what? I have a bunch of projects sitting around that I haven't done or that I haven't finished that I should really look at and see if I can get them done. And I mean, just go through your stuff. It's not the end all be all if you didn't finish something. I just feel bad because I start the projects with you on, especially the ones I start with you guys on camera, and then I don't finish them. Those are the ones that make me feel bad. Because I'm like, they must think I don't finish anything. I'm telling you guys, I just get so bogged down by all the ideas in my head and I go wandering off to a new idea. You would think I have ADHD. I don't. I most certainly do not. I've also been, I'm still doing the struggle with, especially like when I try and decide what I want to film. It's like, what video do I want to shoot? I don't know. All right, I'm thinking that maybe what I'll do is I'll glue it. This one is going to get glued down as not a pocket. That was such a lovely way to word that, wasn't it? I'm going to glue this one down so that it's not, this piece, so that it's not a pocket. Okay, we're going to do that like that. And I'm going to get that one there. And then basically I'm going to glue this whole thing down to that other piece. So this one won't be a pocket. I am going to go ahead and glue the hole down. Who knows? I don't know. I might end up figuring out a way to keep it so that I can have the height. Who knows? Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll put this one here like this. Try and make sure that you can close this over top of it. And then it's all tucked in there. Okay. And it just takes a little bit of extra thought before you put it together, and you can, that's not going to be good. If the solid glue gets on the wallpaper, it messes it up. So I need to do as little of that as possible. See if we can't get some of this cleaned up. All right, so this is the accordion book projects, and I will be working on these in the background and hopefully be able to show them to you. You know, as I go, every so often I'll pop them out and I'll say, hey, this is where we are with these. This is what they look like. You know, that sort of thing, and you guys can see where I'm at and what's going on. I think this goes in here like this. Yeah. Okay, and then this opens up, and we have a piece out to flip out of this particular spot. I like that. Okay, so that one's gotten started, and its first two pieces are connected. Then what I'll do is I'll go through here and I'll decide how I want these other pieces connected. Okay, and for me, my only problem is that I usually don't stick it down straight. Other than that, I think washi tape is a really cool way to fill in that gap if you don't want whatever the background of it is sticking through in that spot and you don't want to have to sew anything in there. So washi tape can be a way to cover the in-between space. So when I go through to fold these, maybe I put a piece of washi tape up here and then glue these two down. You know, or a piece of decorative paper or some tissue paper. It doesn't really matter. Just something to cover that gap. Because when you glue these in here, they don't meet. Well, first of all, they would interfere with your fold if they did, but they don't meet there. So there's a little bit of a visual gap. Anyway, all right, guys, this is my accordion journal projects. I have a stack of them, as you can see, that I've started, and they've been sitting forever. So I'm pulling them out. My ideas are to try and get through as much of my old projects that have been sitting as possible, get through as much of my stash that I have accumulated, especially after all of those huge Ollie's trips that I made. I mean, there's just so much stuff. I'm running out of space. I can't get to anything. You know, it's a mess. So, I hope you'll come back and visit me when we do more. This will probably go in my pick a project list. This is kind of that idea that I was telling you about, that the pick a projects are going to kind of evolve so that it's not I'm working on 3 journals and the pick a project is to see which journal I'm working on. It's going to be more of a grab an old project that's been sitting around or something that you want to do. Like when I go through one of my ephemera drawers and decide what I want to keep, or things that I might want to reconstruct, or things that I know I'm not going to use because I've just discovered that I don't like the way they fit into journals or whatever, then that would be a project. So it's going to kind of evolve into that. And we'll be working on that. So you can look for this accordion journal thing in the pick-up projects, and you know, you might see a few videos here and there as these come together. And I will talk to you guys soon, and we'll be working on the little kitten journals. I'll be bringing you some more about those soon as well. So I'll talk to you guys. God bless, and stay warm, and bye-bye.